Alright, so out of the doors here, I decided to practice with one so that I would be good to be the second. So when I do this on camera, the third is the result of all that previous knowledge I just got, which is really good on these sharp relief doors. However, these two doors are really soft and these are going to be really difficult to do. So I'm going to have to rely on the cutting more than the actual laying down of the tape. This one up here is going to get the PGMS mask. So I'll be doing a side-by-side timing kind of thing. See how long it takes me to do this compared to doing that. Compared to doing this with really soft details, because this is going to suck. So let me take care of this one and we'll start up fresh on that and this and that. First up, we're going to do the little guy. So I found this is a three-stage process. First, use your thumbnail, put the tape down lightly overall, then tighten in one side at a time as you go. That way you're going to give the tape all the slack it needs to fill in these joints here. Or at least that's the notion. Once all that's down and nice and tight, let me see if I can change the exposure here. Oh, I thought I just recorded that whole thing. Must have been 3 to 5 minutes at least. Oh, I got none of that. So I just completely missed filming a step here. I took this punch tool and basically ran it along each of these inner lines here to make sure that it was nice and snug. If you wind up ripping the tape, stop immediately. It's just as likely to rip into the part you're trying to mask as the part you're trying to throw away. Once you've done all those outlines, I've gone with a chisel blade so that if I do get a snag, I can simply cut down and drag that way. At least easier than you can with a number 11. Next step is slowly peeling away. And as soon as you encounter any problems, deal with them right then and there. So there's the masking of a nice crisp edged piece. How's it going to work with this soft edge one? The paint job is total crap on this one, but it's going to be out of the way. And I may even be able to set it up so that I can open the door. Why that is, I'll tell you when we get to the floor piece. So on the other pieces, I started one edge and worked towards the other. This tape exactly fits this door. So in this case, I'm starting from the center and working my way out. So there really wasn't much missed in that last video. I pretty much finished up that nice and easy. Over here going to the masks, the directions say to take it real slow. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So the fit here is pretty tight. If I had a sharp-edged large door, then I could compare the accuracy a little better of my hand cut by the vinyl mask. It certainly seemed to save a lot of time. Getting the pieces down was a little problematic in some cases, but obviously it all worked out. Reason why I tried one of these other windows over here, I tried this top mask up here in place of that one, and it almost looked a little smaller than this one does. So I don't know if this is the proper mask for this door. It could very well be that one. The fit is awful close, but at the very least it's as accurate as either of these doors. Actually, this is probably the only door that might be better than that one. We'll only find out after the painting, which I think we're ready to do. Alright, so the directions specifically say not to keep these vinyl masks on for more than 4 hours. This was about 10, unfortunately. Let's see how well this comes off. So far, so good. There's one door. This is the one I'm most worried about. And now that I'm thinking of it, I didn't have to mask this door at all. So I don't think so. This should be the back room door, I think. Which makes me wonder if I forgot to do one now. There we go. And finally. So to me, these little doors were the scariest thing I could have possibly masked. And the video reveal, they went by in what, 5 minutes each or so? So I spent months and months getting myself worked up about how difficult it was going to be, and basically it was almost nothing. I would rather not have to have had to mask these, but since I had to no matter what, get through it, and all of a sudden we're on the other side. I am going to touch these up with a little bit of paint, but not too much. These little ones are coming out pretty much as well as I expected they might. So I scraped up the paint on a couple of these pieces. Here. I'm not too worried about that. These doors are pretty much going to be invisible on the model. You really got to go out of your way to go and find and see them. So a little touch up for them, no problem. This door came out pretty good exactly the way it is, despite having really soft details from all my over painting. This door is not as great as it could be, but this is the back room door, and I don't have to use that. This door here is with the Aztec dummy PGMS mask, and I haven't seen the playback on how long it took to cut these doors to cut these masks compared to this mask, but this definitely seemed to go a lot easier. The fit was pretty much right on target, so there were no problems there, and overall it looks good. I would rather have not had to have masked these little guys, so having masks included with the kit would have been really prime, but having done those, it's not that much more difficult to have done these. However, the one thing you're probably not going to get too easily on your own with a blade is these really nice round corners everywhere. That is definitely something that's difficult to cut. So I gotta say, if you got a lot of masking to do, this PGMS is definitely a strong consideration. If it had these little guys, that would have been a must-buy, because while these weren't particularly difficult to do, I think they would have been slightly more accurate had they had masking templates to go with. And it looks like I do have to do one other door, the airlock door, or the space pod door rather. So let me go find that and we'll mask it up and get it painted. Next up is the wall beams. Look at the door in place. One of the magnets has fallen off over time, so it's kind of loose right now. That should bring it in close enough that I don't have to worry about sealing it, otherwise there could be some light leak going on. The other idea was to remove this and have a false perspective print of the gun racks and anything else that might be there storage wise. But I think I'm just going to keep the door closed in this case. Doors are done, putting them away. The only thing I did different here on this one is that I took 2 pieces of tape and masked down the middle. I figure this will save having to do one entire cut when I get rid of this mask, and that can't be a bad thing. Only a couple doors are big enough or shaped right to do this to it. And here's a look at the stuff that I gotta paint. The door, it turns out I ran out of 1741, so I mixed up something that's close based on this sample right here. It could be a little more violet, but I'm running with it. This door is going to be hidden out of the way pretty much, and the airlock is the only other door on the ship, so I'm not worried about it looking off color to anything else in this case. Got to do the walls. These are going straight to their yellow, going back to the first color on the floor.